saw this right here, nice little historic, or what is it, the Heritage Center right there. We were so short on time, we did not actually get to go in. It looked like a great place though. I just want to let you know, it looks like it's really nice. Love that architecture and everything. And so we didn't get a chance to go in, and we're hoping that one of these days we will be able to go in. So we drove all the way down to the Hawk. And is the lighthouse called the Hawk too? No. What is it called? Oh, that's Cape Sable Lighthouse? All we saw was the Hawk and everything. We never did see a lighthouse, so we have to take a beating. The road's pretty rough, but the problem is the fog was so thick, we did not see a lighthouse. We don't know where it is. And, you know, that's nobody's fault. I mean, that's just the luck of the draw when we were there. It's pretty rough. You need to probably, you know, we're here in July. It might be time to grade the road once a year or something for people that are down there. And so we'll just have to take your word for it that it looks like that. Is it close? Okay. It looks like fun. By the way, it's a great painting. And so we did add that onto it. But you know what? I didn't know if it was Cape Sable Lighthouse or anything. So we just called it the Hawk because it looked like it had a really good beach and everything else there. So we're taking your word for it. That's really cool. That should be the best of the South Shore area. We did go down. We did see this little museum here. It was open. It's nice. You put that there. It's got the hours and everything there. And once again, we're running out of time. And I have no idea who Archelaus Smith is. Archelaus Smith? Who is Archelaus Smith?
One of the first, his wife was the first one to land in the area.
Okay. I mean, there's no problem. I'm not saying, well, you need to take down the name or anything. I was just curious. But it looks very nice. And once again, we like all of these. But here's what happens in Nova Scotia. You have hundreds and hundreds of museums. Probably more than any place I've ever been. I mean, you've got them everywhere. And after a while, we were just getting museumed out. And so I feel kind of bad because these are really good people that are trying to do stuff and trying to preserve the history. So I don't mean to diss them at all, but it looked like a great place. But by the way, you know, I thought, well, we're not going to go potty here. Otherwise, we probably would have gone in. Like I said, you know, so we did, there's Barrington again, we did all the Gables Islands, and then we drove all around and we went to Shag Harbor. And this is kind of the end of our area. Now, we did not go in. First of all, it says it's a grocery store, and I thought, boy, the museum must be about as big as this table. I mean, it's, you know what I'm going, and what do you show in a UFO museum? So there, a UFO actually landed in Shelburne. Okay. I didn't know that.
In the water.
Oh, in the water.
In the water.
Okay.
It was on the phone.
I didn't think that'd be cool if you actually put some kind of artifact sticking out of the water so you can kind of see something. Wouldn't that be fun? But anyway, and so, you know, so we did see that. We thought, you know, it looks like it's more of a store that probably has a bulletin board with a couple of photos on it or something, you know, and I don't know. That was our assumption. Close. And then we really wanted to do the tower there, but you know what? We couldn't even see the tower in the fog, let alone go up and look out the tower. Otherwise, we would have absolutely done that. And it looked great. And it was open. Sea Tower was open. I'm going, really? I mean, you know, it was. And by the way, you know what I would do for any place that's a historic site? Avoid chain link fences. It makes it give it an industrial look. They now make vinyl fencing that looks like wrought iron, but it's vinyl. So you don't have to worry about rust and everything. And I would always do something more decorative. Because whenever you see chain link, you expect there's going to be a guard dog in there, and it's, you know, and maybe there is. And so it just, you know, it's a historic site. Beautiful building. And so from there, we drove on up, and then the rest I'm going to do tomorrow. If you want to come to it, it starts at 8:30 in Yarmouth. Where are we at? We're at the Wesleyan Church, which I'm not too sure which one that is, but I'll tell you what, some gorgeous churches. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow. And so, you know, I'm not even going to get into a whole lot of detail on these. But it's really important to provide specifics. And I'll just quickly go through these about the marketing. The easier you make it, the longer people will stay. So I don't know what you're selling, whatever it is. The more specifics you can provide us, the longer we will stay and the more we will spend. You know, I'll tell you the statistic, I haven't told any other group yet, is that 70-some% of people planning a weekend getaway do it when they're not supposed to. Or work, We're somewhere else, we're on the web, figuring out where we're gonna go this weekend. We're not gonna be calling a visitor information center where we can be overheard. We're doing our stealth shopping on the web. And so all the specifics need to be on the web. If you say we have great kayaking, but I have no clue where I can go kayaking, where I can rent one, where I can buy one, where I can probably rent one, or go out in a guide, we just say next. Your website better be full of details. For you that have B&Bs, hotels, and whatever, always promote why we should stay in your hotel, and it's not about your hotel. It's what is there to do in the area that will make you want to stay in your property. Same with B&Bs. Too often we're selling our four walls and we're not selling why we should stay there or go there or eat there. I love this one, which is Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, and talk about specifics. If you like cabinet maker, jewelry, soap making, hand spinning, it tells you when, it tells you the days, the weeks, the times that it's open, how to book it, more information. That's the kind of stuff we're looking for, specifics. This happens to be for artisans' workshops in both provinces. You know, provide specifics. And so, photos, by the way, with photos, show people. We always relate to people, not scenic vistas. If we see somebody kayaking, we go, I want to be in that kayak. If we just see a pretty view and say, this is great kayaking, we don't get the vision. And so I want you to do that. Show people, not places. Create detailed itineraries. And I've showed these before in a couple of the places that we've been. But, you know, this is happens to be in Michigan. They did an itinerary for grapes, gifts, and galleries day one. And they tell you to spend 20 minutes here, 20 minutes here, 15 minutes here, 20 minutes here. You know what? I mean, they really do it details. You've done some itineraries around the region, but they're pretty basic. When it comes to lunch, you eat at one of our many fine restaurants. No. Tell me which restaurant you eat and what dish you get. See what I mean? You know, I mean, you need to do that kind of detail. Here's one they did for kids. Education adventure. Here's one they did for Beacons to Barons tour. I mean, but this is what I want. You can make these PDF downloadable. And it doesn't cost anything except for laying them out. You can even create itinerary booklets. And I actually brought one. I found one. I hear music out there. You guys are ready to split, aren't you? And so, this is really cool. This is Nevada, but look at this. It's a little ride guide. It's a motorcycle guide. But can you imagine doing one of these for bicycles? Can you imagine doing one for motorcycles? Can you imagine doing one of these? By the way, people buy these for $1. They cost 50 cents to print. Can you imagine having a whole series of these? Somebody could, here's a business opportunity for somebody. Create these little ride guides. And it's on the water, on the shore, on foot, little trail guides. It's got all kinds of little specifics, how far it is, what you'll see. People want specifics. You can do all kinds of these. So somebody could do this. A great little business opportunity. Sell them. You print them for 50 cents. Sell them for $1. You know? I mean, maybe you do that Blue Scope. You do that South Shore Foodies Guide. I don't know, wherever. You know, Art Lovers Tour. And that's what they did in New Brunswick. A whole bunch of these. And you pick the 1 or 2 years and you're not going to go grab a whole pile of them. But you say, boy, I'm interested in birding, I'll grab that one. And that's what they do. And so, local talent, there's all kinds of people that have talent. These are just some ones that we did that were in Travel and Leisure magazine. This is Pikes Peak in Colorado. But this is the kind of details we want. Grab a breakfast of espresso and fresh baked goods at Presti's Bakery in Little Italy. Order a selection of the fine Italian cookies and pastries to go. And then they'll tell you what to do all the way through it. And we want sample itineraries like that. And that actually ran. So think like a travel writer. Don't think like, oh my gosh, I can't mention anybody specific because I'll pay out for it. And they're doing that for Fredericton. I thought that was pretty cool what they've done with their daily, you know, Sundays, Mondays, what you can do different times of the day and different times of the week. So these are all different samples. And we'd love to see you do pick your season, pick your passion. The biggest problem you have in Nova Scotia is people see you as a 2-month, 3-month destination. And I think you could do 5 different seasons. So pick your season, and now, once we pick the season, here's what we have in the South Shore for you. That would get us to come here in January and February, or March, or whatever. You can call it whatever you want. I did some names there, but call them whatever you want. And then pick your passion. What's going to get you to come here? You can even have locals help write up itineraries. It's pretty fun to do. Does this make sense? So this is all marketing. And it doesn't always have to be Jeanette and South Shore. I mean, businesses can do this too. It gives us a reason to come and stay with you. So there's some ideas. And I'll provide all this in the report. And then show up, make sure you go on the peer review website. 86% of consumers trust peer reviews. I think I said 81 before. See, that's why I needed this fresh. You can get these. This was at the Alexander Graham Bell site in Bedeck. And you know what? If you have good reviews, get these things. People love the reviews. By the way, this is a business card size. It's only about this big. This was at the Hill Garden in Toronto. And you know, this is what you do. And you can order these from TripAdvisor, or you can just go print your own. Put the TripAdvisor logo on. You can download their logo, put it on there. And here's what you do. When you have a guest come in, you have one of those little cards, and you just kind of put it in your pocket like this. And it's a business size card. You say, so how was your stay? How was your meal? And if they say, it was really awesome, it was so good, then you say, you know what, would you mind being TripAdvisor? Now, if they say, you know what, I thought the service just sucked, the food was okay. You say, well, you know, I'm so sorry you didn't have that great of a visit. We'll work on that, please come back, but you're not going to hand them a card. TripAdvisor, I used to sit on the board. TripAdvisor they have 400 reviewers. They have 50 people that just do fraud prevention. If you go put your own reviews on there, or you pay people to do reviews, you will be bumped off forever, and they are the fastest growing travel site in the world. They're bought up hotels.com. I mean, they are just growing like crazy. So TripAdvisor is big. And so you need to make sure that you look at the reviews, what they're saying about you. The quarter deck, here it is, you know, what are they saying? But still looking for a hotel. And so that's what you need to know. And then finally for you, I'm getting close to the end. 88% of destination marketing organizations have more print materials than the web. Those days are over. Here's how you should spend your marketing dollars. For you in business, 45%, oh, not again. There we go. Spend on the internet, on digital. 45% of whatever your marketing budget should be spent on digital. And all those things you see there. And then 20% on PR. That's articles written about you. Whether they're on the web, you know, whether they're in magazines. And then 20% on advertising, and that's to drive people to your website. And then 10% on printed materials. And 5%, boy, frustrating. And so then finally the last one was 5% on signs, trade shows, other things. So that's what you need to do. And YouTube needs to be a priority. You know, I always show this little thing. 1 million seconds takes 12 days. 1 billion seconds takes 32 years. 1 trillion seconds takes, look at how long it takes. Wow. That's how long it takes. 32,000 years to hit 1 trillion seconds. Here's the point. On YouTube, 1.46 trillion views just in 2012. Video is the future. You should have a YouTube channel. If you're a B&B, you should still have videos. It doesn't matter. 30 seconds to 2 minutes. Little videos of walking through. Your hotel, your B&B, your restaurant, whatever. Little videos. People love videos. Populate them on your website. You know, whatever it is. Your South Shore. South Shore, Nova Scotia. South Shore right here. More big waves from Hurricane Earl on Nova Scotia South Shore. And this is what we do. Now, it doesn't mean we decide whether we're going to come here, but once we decide, we're going to go there to see if it's going to close the sale. That's what you need to do. And we did lots of websites. By the way, we love the Nova Scotia's Backyard website. We thought it was a showcase of all the different regional sites. We made a little bit of this, you know, some suggestions. And there's lots of things you do. I mean, you know, and it's not a critique or saying that somebody's doing a bad job at all. These are just suggestions that can make it even better. And so we gave lots of these, and they'll all be in the report. There are some itineraries there which we think are good. They just need to be more specific. And don't be afraid to start to promote business. Tourism is about private industry, not public sector activities. That is the benefit of tourism. Include spending opportunities in brochures. You know, look at this, more spending opportunities. So here we're talking about, here's Amos Pugh, I love it. Spruce Top Run, this is up north, you know, and Nova Scotia's network. You know, it's so important to promote private industry. We would like to see icons for washrooms, gas, and shops along here, because there's a lot of these places where there's nothing for you know, 20, 30 kilometers. And so you need to do that. And then make a list of all of these suggestions and start handing out assignments. You're going to get a report in the next couple of weeks, and so I want you to do that. And I'm not sure that this video is going to work, but I'm going to try it. Remember what I said about delivering on the promise. It's always an experience in meeting expectations. And so I want to put it in human terms, and let's see if it'll work. Yeah.
Here we are. In the still of the night, baby, all I know, my whole heart skips a beat when you're next to me. In the still of the night. Here we are.
So talk about meeting expectations. Don't got a little video of it. And so, what you have is really awesome here. It really, really is. I mean, if you notice those museums, if you talk about the whole Southwest Nova Scotia, the best towns, the best museums, the best lighthouses, you know what? You're really heavily loaded. I mean, what you got here is really cool. You just have to move away from marketing geography. If they are the sanctuary coast, what do you want to be? You know, today I was just brainstorming with Jeanette, and we thought, well, how do you market all this without getting into all the geography of, well, who's Woods Harbor, and, you know, Shelburne County, and all these lines and everything. I said, maybe we do maybe we tell the story, the Nova Scotia story, and it's told along the way in different places. You know what I mean? So somehow we have to make it an experience like you would a sanctuary. Does that make sense? And so there you go. Now, we have, you know, we had a little time. Do you have questions?
Right here.
Yes, sir.
You traveled the you know the back roads, right? But you didn't travel the 100 series roads.
Actually, today I did to get
So
here,
you didn't
and
get
I
this-
have a couple times, and I've seen all the signs out there.
Okay, so let's make a comment on the road signs, please.
Okay. First of all, when you get off the 103, you know what I mean, and you come to the lighthouse route and everything, it drives me nuts, the plastering of 40, 50, 60 signs there at the intersections. In one of the most pristine places in Nova Scotia, or in Canada, even North America, and I've been in every state and every province extensively, and to be assaulted like that drives me nuts as a visitor. And you know what? We're not going to pull up to those intersections and read 45 signs. So that bothers me. Even 103, not so much, and I do see the signs that come along. And by the way, here, let me give you some things about signs. Yeah, 4 seconds to read a sign. If you're on 103, no more than 8 words. No phone numbers on signs. Have you, anybody here ever said, stop, honey, quick, I need to write down that phone number? We don't. Or addresses. White Pointing does a good job. They just said 32 kilometers. I saw the sign. And then when you get closer, it tells you, they don't try to tell you the address and all that. And so never more than 8 words on a sign when you're on 103 because of the speed limit. You have 4 seconds to read a sign. When you're on 333, you know, all of the lighthouse route, those roads, you could go up, and generally I say no more than, you know, I usually say 4 words or less. Just do something that's going to tease us. Another thing about signs, never use outline text. You know what I'm talking about? You use text and you outline it with a different color. Very hard to read when you're in a vehicle. Never use strict fonts on signs. Impossible to read. And always get our attention, and here's the deal, yellow always pulls the eye. Yellow always pulls the eye. I love LaHaye Bakery because they put yellow chairs outside and you just drawn to them. Even in the top 3 inches of your brochure, yellow always pulls the eye.
Just like the Beach Meadow signs.
Just like the Beach Meadow signs. Exactly right. You know, the Saltbox Gallery in Petit Riviere, they use all those yellow signs, and boy, you notice them right away. Now, I mean, I imagine now that I've been telling everybody this, all the signs are going to be yellow, and it probably won't, you won't stand out. But those are some things. But along 103, you know, I mean, I don't like all the plethora of signs, but you know what? I mean, we want businesses to succeed.
I don't think you saw the signs. Because they're all derelict. They're all have to be painted. Some of the businesses are closed.
Yeah, I know.
You know, never mind the font.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But I probably today, so here's what I did. I got in from Bridgewater, went down 103, and then took the exit just to come straight here. And I probably counted 200 signs. And you know what happens is after a while we just ignore them all. And so, but I really believe along the Lighthouse route, the Fleur-de-Lis Trail, I mean, I've been on all of them. I think it's an embarrassment, and it really is sad. I think that almost all of them are illegal signs. You know, at least along, but I don't think there's any way to enforce it. There's nobody enforcing anything. From what I understand, they're not actually supposed to be there. There's no, and then I really don't know what, but all I know is this, and you know what, I'll tell you one thing, is when we did the Blue Hills Coast 5 years ago, I really harped on it, didn't I, Drew? I really harped on those signs. And so I know the people in Blue Hills Coast have been trying to figure out a way to get rid of those signs. It's been like impossible, right? I mean, you know, do you just go take them down for the businesses that are closed? You know, and that is one thing, and I gave, earlier today, I said, when you come to Peggy's Code, I showed like 15 signs that were dilapidated, that were, you know, most of the sign was missing. I said, this is your entrance to Peggy's Code, where all these tour buses and everything coming. And there was like 20 or 30 signs that were so embarrassing. And I said, you know what, if you know the business is closed, just go take them down. I mean, is somebody really going to complain? And if they do, say, you know what, I'm really sorry. Sometimes I think you have to ask for forgiveness better than for permission. I mean, I hate to say that, it gets me in trouble. You know, because these are provincial highways, and you're not supposed to be out there working signs and stuff. But you know what, when you come off those 103s and you see that, to me, it's just awful. You know what's really bad about 103? It's worse down in your area than anywhere else all the way back to Halifax. All of a sudden you start seeing them all over. And so, no, I agree with you. We want businesses to succeed, but you know what? Maybe you need to go get a permit and say, next exit, we've got restaurants, cafes, B&Bs, lodging, and just make it a directory, and then once we take, you know what I mean?
Here.
And yeah, and I totally agree with that kind of thing. In other provinces and in the states, they have a thing called TOD signs, tourism-oriented displays, where business can pay to be on a directory sign. That way it's pay to play. But I do agree that you're in one of the most pristine places in North America, and I think it's too bad. I think it's really sad. And the closer you get, the more of them I saw today, and I just went, man, you know what it does? It cheapens the destination.
That's right.
So. Okay, good question.
Good answer.
Oh, thanks.
Roger, great presentation. I heard you wrote 4 years ago in Chester.
Yeah.
And that's what
5 years ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what brought me back.
Thank
Yes, one of the things that I see is one of the major anchor draws for people to come to this area is White Sand Beach, i.e. White Point, where it's located here.
Yeah, that's why I closed the curtain. I didn't want you looking out there.
Yeah. Now, on your list of the best, you had Ketchy, which was good. But there's a whole bunch of beaches around this area that I think have merit to be on that list. The White Sand Beach is a draw on a hot sunny day for 300 to 500 people. Even if you look at Tofino on the west coast of Vancouver Island, winter time, winter watch type of thing. So
absolutely.
I think the whole idea of the White Sand Beach as a draw.
Absolutely.
But there's a problem. Draw those White Sand Beach people, those patrons on a hot summer day, what the Nova Scotia government has failed to do. They highlight these particular beaches in the doers and dreamers guide, then they don't provide the basic infrastructure to service those people when they come to it. What happens? They poop in the woods. And they do a whole bunch of other things that are bad around sensitive ecosystems. So it's not just about tourism.
Absolutely
It's
right.
the full package
Absolutely.
that has to come together.
So, on the eastern shore, they said, why do you promote this beach, this beach, this beach, and this beach? And I promoted one, Lawrencetown Beach. You know why I put it on the list? Because they had restrooms, they had washrooms, they had changing rooms, they had all the amenities there. You're absolutely right. You promote your best ofs, but if they cannot service the customer, then don't do it. Then don't do it. And, I mean, that's a good conversation to have. I think you're absolutely right. People have to have a good experience. If they can't have a good experience, then you can't promote it. I mean, we had that conversation about Oak Island. You drive up to Oak Island and it's like Heil Hitler, you know, because it's all stay out, cameras, we're going to shoot you. I mean, I didn't quite say that, but I felt like it. You know what I mean? Private and, you know, don't go here and all that. I said, why are you promoting this? My gosh. I was really afraid to walk in there. Somebody said, Roger, if you would have, you probably would have been shot. Then why are you promoting it? But you're absolutely right. Same thing with like Peggy's Cove Preservation Area. I think it's one of the most pristine places in all of Nova Scotia, maybe in Canada. I mean, it's so stunningly beautiful. On the other hand, there are a few trails, but you want to over-promote it. You know, those kinds of things. But you're absolutely right. If you can't provide the amenities, the services that go with it, and by the way, the thing is with tourism is, can we monetize it? After they spend some time at the beaches, or a way we can get money from them, even if it's temporary, you know, summer type kiosks or places where they're selling ice cream or doing something. I think that's really important. But yeah, you're right. Any other questions? You getting tired? So, if you want, tomorrow we're in Yarmouth, and that starts at 8:30. It's going to be totally different. It's about that area there. You know, and sooner or later we're trying to videotape all of these, and it's what you have here is amazing. You got to figure out what's our focus, because you know what? By the way, I can't find a place in Nova Scotia that doesn't promote their beaches. I mean, Northumberland Shore says we have the warmest beaches. Bay of Fundy says, well, we've got the highest tides. We're one of the wonders of the world. We're almost. You can't even get the Grand Canyon on there, but we're one of those. And so, you know what I mean? And so you have to say, well, what really, all these crescent beaches, which ones do you promote?
We have white sand beaches.
Yeah, that's cool.
Northumberland, the
And now we have we have white sand. We want to make that one. And by the way, I did those best ofs. You probably have 10, 15 other ones that you should add to the list. Remember, we did not see everything. There was probably a lot of stuff that said, Roger, you never showed this. It's probably because we never saw it. There was no signs to it. It wasn't written up in the guide. You know, and sometimes you do the here's our best 5 spots, our best. I love doing the best stuff that you already do in the guides. Some of them don't really deliver on the promise. And I've noticed that in all the regions. You're putting stuff out there because you think it's politically correct. We need to promote something in that area. So let's put them in there, even if the visitor says, really? And you've got to stop doing that. Another challenge that I have is promoting advertisers only. When you do that, and I'm not sure because you got to pay to play, the challenge is that when you do that, this happened on the Eastern Shore, it didn't look like they had anything. Because the only people that are promoted are members. And if that's the case, we're not going to use your guides. We're going to go on the web and use something else. We're going to go find some other resource. So those are things, just think about it from a consumer point of view. Yes, ma'am?
Lockport here.
Lockport, yes.
Please come back. Please come back. We have a magnificent little town.
You do. It was
and
really beautiful.
unfortunately, you came across one, maybe 2 people.
I know, you're right. But the reason I even told that story is because I wanted to show you how powerful it is that one bad apple can spoil the whole bunch. And it doesn't matter whether they go to McDonald's or, I'm talking about at a gas station or somewhere. I mean, I'm just letting you know how one person can ruin a whole experience for visitors. And so absolutely we'd love to come back. I mean, I really don't, you know. But that was our first reaction. And it was a stunningly beautiful place. I mean, I was just like, wow, this is so
It is,
pretty.
and we have so many very nice people there.
But it could be
Bad
that,
ones,
but sometimes I've actually worked in communities where they don't want visitors. Where they really don't. This is our little place and we don't want people here. And that's okay. You can certainly respect that. But if you do want visitors, then absolutely. So I don't want to shame Lockport, but I just want to tell you that was our experience. And it could have happened anywhere. But it just happened to happen there on that day, and we were pretty shocked.
Well, what is your advice to handle that? I mean, you can't control every person in the community that's being started.
You can't. There's really nothing you can do about that. Here's what you can do locally. Is little things that you can do are things like letting the locals know that having tourists come and spend money doesn't cost any more for police protection, doesn't cost any more for the fire. But you know what? You have a neighbor that owns a little restaurant there. How often do you eat in the little restaurant that I showed, the little diner there? I don't know how often the locals eat there at local restaurants. Visitors can help fill the gap. And by the way, when you promote tourism, do not promote visitors, promote money. Promote money. We were there with wallets, looking to spend money in Lockport. Promote the money, not visitors and tourism. Oh, there's somebody else coming in. Cash in their hands. And that means, by the way, it doesn't mean mug them. But in a sense, you know, what you want to do is say, here's another visitor. They're coming here, they're going to spend money. Because you know, Lockport's the end of the road. We was like to spend 2 or 3 hours there. And granted, the weather wasn't really great when we were there, but and all you can do is educate people that tourism is not a bad thing. But the general perception is a bunch of low-end jobs. It's very seasonal, and you know, we need family wage jobs there. They don't understand how important it is for somebody that may want to live there, may want to open up something there, may want to have a business there. And I always say visitors are a way to help your local businesses survive. It just gives them an extra cash flow. And so yeah, I haven't written it off. And in the reports, like I say, nobody go to Lockport at all. I mean, that's just, well, between us. And now Facebook and YouTube. And so, yeah, no problem. It's a beautiful area. I love the fact that you go out there and it's almost like an island.
It is nice.
Really pretty. Nice little downtown. We walked all over the place. So, yeah, but that happens, you know. And we're just there on a tough weekend. I mean, we're getting lots of people looking at us. It could be we felt self-conscious, but it could be they just trying to recognize you. You know what I mean? Because it's a small community. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
I just wanted your ideas on comment cards. I have them on my pet peeves is I have people fill out the evaluation, evaluate one, do this, do that. And people will give me a bad score, but they won't tell me why. Like, what's your opinion on comment cards? How should we write them? How do we get people to fill them out to give us?
Comment cards are very good. I travel 250 days a year, and I've been doing this for years and years and years. I've been in this business for 32 years. And I started when I was 10. Okay, not older than that either. Okay, that's all right. In all my years, I've had 4 lodging properties ever send me a thank you card. So thank you for staying with us. 4. And you do need to have those comment cards. I think they're very important. And if somebody has a bad experience, you can't just do check marks. You have good, bad, poor, you know, what was your experience? You always need to put, what could we, and here's the way you phrase it, is what could we do to better serve you if you were to come back again?
Okay.
Phrase it that way. You know, so what could we do to better serve you if you were to come back our way again? What do you think we should do to make our business better?
And they should be short, right?
Absolutely. You put those squares, don't put lines like you can only put one line. Make sure somebody can fill it out, you know, so they can vent. You know, and by the way, you know what happens is, even on TripAdvisor, is the people that have a good experience generally won't write a review, but if they had a bad experience, they for sure will write it. And by the way, on TripAdvisor, most of the bad reviews are about people, not the product. That's how important people are. Yeah. And so, but that's how you phrase it, and then say, what can we do to better? That way it's not negative. If you didn't have a good experience, tell me why. You know what I mean? Just say, what could we do next time if you were to come back this way that would get you to stay here again or visit us again? And comment cards are great, particularly in lodging properties. Very good, yeah. Okay? Anything else? I hear a lot of music out there. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Thank you very much.